One of the situations where leaders often feel the most concerned, the most under-equipped, and the least ready to work with is when a team member isn't meeting expectations. This performance problem can come up in a bunch of different ways. What's important is that you as a leader be able to talk with the team member, talk about what's happening, where things are getting off track, how they're getting off track, and then help this get back on course. That little piece though, how the leader steps in to do their part, is where so many leaders that we work with feel uncomfortable, they don't feel equipped, they're just not sure what to do. This isn't something any of us were taught in school. I don't remember this ever being covered in a history class or somewhere on an athletic field. So what we're going to jump into today is how to work with a team member when you have a performance problem. So the first step here is going to be, and this is going to be one of the more uncomfortable steps, it's also really essential, is define it. When you define how the performance is off, what you're doing is you're getting it out there. And this is going to have a couple of pieces. First off, being sure on what was the expectation. So this may sound like, hey, Joe, I asked you to move all those boxes from this room to that room in the warehouse, and it wasn't done. So now you're adding in what the expectation is, and you're also adding in how their performance is off. Usually once you get here, now you're going to start getting some explanation, some information from your team member on exactly what happened. They may say, oh, I didn't know when you wanted that. They may say, oh, I thought I did get all the boxes. And then they realize, oh, I got half of them and then I got distracted or got told to do something else. So now also catch in here, you're not making this a big deal. So with this, I encourage you to remember two things. Stay away from the extremes. You don't want to be really like super crazy heavy-handed with this because people are likely going to be uneasy. If this is the first time you're having this conversation, come in gently. The other piece to remember is you don't want to come in too gently. If you go, hey man, what happened? Like, this is a big, and you make a joke about it and you somehow lighten the mood, well, what you're doing is you're taking the seriousness of this conversation and you're dropping it down. Any of that tension they may have felt that's building up for them about not meeting the expectation and creating a problem, that's all going to go away. And when you do that, their willingness to change can go away with it too. So the second part is being really clear with what happened. So this was the expectation. This is how they're off. Now they're telling you, oh, yeah, here's what happened. And honestly, the best question that a leader can simply ask is, hey, what happened with this? Now you're confirming the expectation. You're confirming the expectation wasn't met. And then you're giving them a chance to say, oh, here's what happened. Here's what went down. Okay, great. So now we're getting into some facts, some stuff about it. Oftentimes when you just start with the first piece, the second piece will come rolling out of team members because they're probably uncomfortable. Here's the third part, how to solve this. And catch that this is about solving the problem. This isn't about blaming. So blaming is all about who's at fault. I'm going to point a finger. Man, there are a few better ways to shut down conversations with team members or create the reoriented performance that you want than to focus on blaming. This isn't about blame. What you can tell them is, hey, we're not here to blame anyone. We are here, though, to solve this problem. Now, here's what's essential. When you get into the problem solving, oftentimes what leaders will do is they want to start to jump in. Well, what I would do is this, or hey, have you thought about this? Or did you grab such and such from so-and-so to help with this thing? Stop. Define the problem. So now they're clear. They're telling you what happened. Now the solving, get them to do that. Here's a way to think about this. One of the words that's been rolling around the business space for years and years and years is I want to be empowered. So people want to be empowered. What does that mean? It means they want to be given the authority, given the express permission and confidence to do things. Well, if you say to a team member, hey, we've got a problem, then you say to them, how do you want to solve this. Now, what are you doing? You're literally giving them the driver's seat for bringing up ideas, for bringing up suggestions. This is one of the best ways you can let team members know your contribution is valuable. And what you're also teaching them is they have the ability and the responsibility to solve their own problems. This will be the hardest part for most leaders to do. Sometimes, and this may sound funny, and I swear it works because I've used this with myself, ask them the question, again, how do you think you can solve this? What are your ideas to solve this? What do you see as the next steps? What do you see as a good plan? Any of those questions, and there's tons and tons of variations. Ask that and then take a sip of water. Because if you've got water going down, it's going to be a lot harder for you to speak, and it puts this big impediment right in your way. So it sounds a little silly. Give it a shot. I do that. I can tell you with confidence it totally works. Now you're giving them space to come up with ideas. What's awesome is somewhere in here they may go, well, I'm not sure, or I don't know. And that's going to happen sometimes. What's important is that they don't say, I don't know all of the time. If they continue to come to you and say, I don't know, that's a problem. It's time for them to start to do more to come up with ideas. If they do say, I don't know, you may even ask questions like, well, what stands out to you in this problem? What aspect of this situation do you see being really important? What have you considered that you haven't done or tried in this situation? So you're helping them to perhaps jar loose and think about things a little bit differently. Now we're going to get to the step that most leaders want to jump into, and why I intentionally made a point of getting into number 3, which is the leader will want to say, how can I help? Oops, let me get that as an H there. So how can I help? A lot of times leaders will see a situation. It comes to them very clearly what can be done to solve that problem. If you're a leader for a reason. Usually it's because you proactively solve problems. You lean into situations. You have got a probably more advanced problem-solving process than many other people. Here's where, though, you can do fantastic things for your team members and say, hey, what one thing or two things can I do to help? Now you're limiting it. So when they say, oh, how can you help? Well, gosh, here, you can do this. Now you're bringing it down from a whole bunch of things to just a few things. What you're saying in there, once you've already asked them how they see solving this problem, you're literally now telling them, I'm confident in your ability to solve this. You probably only want a little bit of help from me. What one or two things could I do? Hear how now they're going, oh yeah, I'm totally able to solve this. I can kick this problem's butt. And if I want help, I want this from my manager. They may come up with something right then. They may come up with something later. If you don't like the one or two, you may tighten it up a little bit also by saying, what help are you counting on specifically from me? Catch in there the word specifically helps, again, you're tightening the scope of the conversation. So it's not anything that's out there. It's, oh, I really want your help with this, how I do this one part. So play with this approach, write these steps out for yourself and keep them on a cheat sheet so that as you work with team members, you've got this available. What you'll probably find is pretty quickly when you get to this part, how the problem can be solved, your team members are really going to be excited to offer ideas. And this is where you're encouraging and asking more questions is going to be super, super helpful. Again, if they say, I don't know, give them some more questions, give them some more time to think about it. Practice with this. This is just like everything, all the other tools that we have. The more you practice with this and play with these pieces and make these yours, the more comfortable and natural it's going to be. The first time, you're probably gonna be a little nervous, a little sweaty, a little clammy, not feeling like it's natural. That's totally cool. It happens with everybody. Don't sweat that. Keep at it, keep going through, and this will become more comfortable. If you like this video, please be sure to hit the like button. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to click on the subscribe button below. If you would like to get our Wingspan Weekly, which has not only these videos, it also has all of our written blog posts, please go to wingspanperformance.com. And on the homepage towards the bottom, there'll be a little bar that says, would you like to sign up for the Wingspan Weekly? Mash right on that, stick your email in, you'll be good to go. Have a great day, keep playing with these ideas, and let us know in the comments what's working for you or what kind of situations are popping up that you'd like us to cover in future videos.